Welcome to Coming Up Roses. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Kelly, and today is Sunday, October 29th, 2023. Welcome to episode 104.
Yeah, coming up on Halloween, just a couple days away. Although, it kind of like in our neighborhood, it was kind of like Halloween was last night. We were not busy at work at all. I actually got out of work super early. And then the neighbor that we were telling you about, they made up like a castle or whatever in their front yard. They had this big event, and people from all over the neighborhood were gathered around. I guess they were handing out candies and doing character stuff. So it was pretty cool. Neighborhood was really getting into it. So yeah.
My question is, how many times do kids have to go trick-or-treating?
I don't know, quite a bit.
Because now they do that, and then they do trunk or treat at the schools, a lot of them, and the churches, and the
they even do it at the
malls,
Tide Park.
And then they go trick or treating on. I mean, how much?
They did like a big one at Tide Park because Questori took his grandkid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I have to say: we won't be handing out candy this year at our house.
I gotta work. You don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it.
Mom and Dad are kind of not able to do it.
When I was a kid, Halloween night was the night.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone got in their costumes for the first time. Maybe your neighborhood, like we did have a Halloween costume contest like the weekend before. But you went trick-or-treating on Halloween night. Now it's like a week-long adventure of trick-or-treating. And
usually the Saturday before or the Saturday after, like if it was right after, it would be like the bar night.
I'm talking about for children.
For kids, yeah. For kids, it's just the one thing.
It's not just the one thing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I've been seeing on Facebook trunk or treats for at least a week.
And there's parents out there that are doing like different costumes every time, which, Jesus Christ, man. That's
we are keeping our light turned off. Call me a grouch if you want, but I have to be at work all day long with 5-year-olds who are allowed to wear their costumes to school on that day and try to teach and deal with that, and then have to come home and sit out in my front yard and listen to my dog barking every time someone comes to the door in the cold, no. If it was the only time these kids were trick-or-treating and getting candy, that would be different. But 90% of them have already done the trick-or-treating thing. They're probably over it too.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm just...
I'm sure they're over it.
Halloween is not my thing. It's just not my thing.
I know.
So, I'll deal with it at school because I have to. But God, how many times do kids have to go trick-or-treating? Jeez. And then they get all this candy. For what? They probably don't even eat it.
Well, on the plus side, you got that Wednesday where there's going to be a bunch of kids that have the tummy ache.
No, they'll all be in school jacked up high on sugar. Parents aren't keeping them kids home.
I don't think I ever went to school the day after Halloween.
Really?
Yeah. My tummy hurts, Mommy.
No, they send them with candy in their lunchbox.
Oh, my God.
And then we're dealing with the sugar highs and, craziness.
So
I've never been a fan of Halloween.
Yeah. Thanksgiving's awesome.
Not been more of a Thanksgiving. My hair is getting so long. Look. Getting curly.
Yeah. Mine's good for now. I'll probably have to get a haircut before December, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So we are in, I don't want to call it holiday prep. We have started thinking about holidays, and Kevin and my brother Michael decided this year that they wanted to try to smoke the Thanksgiving turkey.
Well, no, that came straight from your mom. We were out. It was out with your mom. We were at the Teeter, Harris Teeter, and she just stopped and said, "Let's get a turkey to smoke in the. I want to try and smoke a turkey, and get you guys to smoke a turkey." And I'm like, "Well, shit, all right." So we picked one up, and then Friday Mike was off and I was off, and we looked up a couple things and said, all right, let's give this a shot.
How much research have you done into smoking meat?
Not a whole lot, honestly.
Okay. Well, there we go.
Research not my thing. I have a research department that helps me with shit.
You're expecting me to do the research?
So anyway, we got the turkey prepped and then put in the smoker, and sat there and watched it for a good half hour. Temperature looked right. I was like, all right, well, I think this is good.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I'm going to show a picture.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know, for people who are experienced at smoking meat, is the smoker supposed to smoke like that much?
Well, that particular model, I did watch a video, and the guy said that the best thing to do is get some like weather stripping, because the door isn't airtight. So at some point, I need to spend a couple bucks and get the air strip.
We didn't decide to do that.
Yeah, I didn't get the weather stripping yet. So maybe before I try this again. But anyway, next thing I know, we go out after about an hour and a half, and go out and take a look at it. And, well, we fucked up.
I mean, it literally looks like it got stuck in the middle of a volcano.
Yeah.
But that's not even the worst.
I have to guess, because the temperature was low on the gauge, but the pellets, I think, like rage fired in there, and then it like charred it, like completely charred it. It was.
Hours and 45 minutes left on.
Sorry, yeah. I'll show this picture if I can get this stuff to go away.
Anyway.
I can't.
And I did try a little piece of the meat, and it was a little dry, but it actually had really good flavor. But there was no way we could eat it. I mean, it was burnt. It was burnt bad. It was burnt bad.
How do we get to see this video without the controls on it?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, that's silly. There. Yeah, okay. There we go.
Yeah, it was
Doesn't
dry.
it look delicious?
It was fucked up. It's my first attempt, and I fucked up bad.
Oh my gosh.
So the next time we're gonna try a chicken. We're not gonna do that, and we're definitely not gonna do it on Thanksgiving.
Are you gonna read any more about how to smoke
meat?
Yeah. I did send you a couple.
I know.
things.
I got my research department helped me out quite a bit. She's pissed.
It irritates me that you guys bought a smoker. Michael bought a smoker. And then I gave him all this stuff for Christmas last year. Cookbooks and da-da-da-da. It's been a year, really.
We haven't had a whole lot of opportunity.
And then you didn't even, look into it. Here's a guy. Okay, here's some things about Kevin. He gets on his phone, right? And he'll be like, I'll say, oh, we're going to order, I don't know, let's order Jimmy John's for dinner. We have the apps for all the restaurants. So he goes and he's looking through all of his. Now, for me, I go like this and I swipe down and I type Jimmy John's and it comes up and I touch it. It takes 5 seconds. Kevin's like looking through folders. I'm like, just search and find it. If something is wrong, like in the house or whatever, in life in general, something isn't working, then Kevin will be, his go-to answer is, I don't know what to tell you. But he works in technical support.
Mm-hmm.
And I can find the answers to these problems using Google in under 5 minutes. It doesn't even occur to you to go to Google to find things. I went on and I said, smoking a turkey with a master-built propane smoker. And all this information comes up.
It is a pretty popular model.
You never did that.
Yeah, it's a pretty popular model, apparently.
This blows my mind.
Yeah, huh?
That you're just going to take a piece of equipment worth hundreds of dollars and a turkey worth tens of dollars.
It was like $20. It was a small.
And you're just going to throw it together, light it up, and walk away and hope for the best.
Yeah, well, as clearly my method is piss poor. So
when you do the chicken, what are you going to do different?
I'm going to watch that video you sent me and read the instructions and figure out how to not let the temperature get crazy. You know, so that's what I think happened. I think
they cooked the turkey in the smoker in hours less time than you roasted in the oven.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was like an hour and a half, 2 hours in the smoker.
Yeah.
And it was charred. And then not even cooked all the way through on the inside.
Yeah. It was weird. It was like if Chef Ramsay would have fucking been
Oh,
berating
you'd
us
have
like
definitely
you would
been
believe.
called a donkey.
Yeah. But it was like parts of it were raw and the other parts were like charred. And, flavor was good though. Like I said, took a little bite.
You didn't
And,
inject it with anything?
Yeah.
Did you
Didn't
put
have
butter
to.
on it?
I didn't have to inject it with anything because I brined it.
That guy that I watched brined it and then injected it.
Oh, well, maybe we'll do that. We'll see. We'll see when we get to the chicken. We're not going to do that this week, or maybe I don't know. I have to figure shit out.
Okay.
Work things out.
It just blows my mind.
Yeah.
I am such a before I do any kind of project, I want to know what materials I need and have it all on hand. And you've been with me. You're my sous chef when I actually cook a few things. And I'm like, we need to get this out and this out and this out and gather everything together. And
see, I operate differently. Like when I first started working at Canon, once I figured out how to get there the right way, I drove, I would just aimlessly drive around and just wander. And I'd get lost and fucking, severely lost.
so you have to learn by making the mistakes.
Yeah. That's actually how that works.
And I try to read and avoid some mistakes, and then I tweak things like I did with that recipe I made yesterday.
Oh, and it was fantastic. The second one obviously would have been better. I didn't get to try to see it. She made this, she found a recipe for cinnamon roll casserole. You take a bunch of Pillsbury cinnamon rolls, cut them up, throw them in a casserole with a milk mixture.
Eggs, milk, cinnamon.
Milk, yeah. And
maple
then top it with chopped walnuts or
pecans with maple syrup.
Yeah. And it was
then
good.
there's a glaze on it. And the first time I made it, followed the recipe, it was good. And the second time I was like, it just didn't have that. To me, a cinnamon roll is sweet.
Yeah, it wasn't sweet. It actually, to me, even and there wasn't any lemon in it, but it tasted like there was a lemon in the
glaze.
The glaze, which I don't know how.
There was no lemon in it.
Yeah, I don't know how.
The second time I made it, I substituted Italian sweet creamer for milk, and it was better.
Yeah, I'll freely admit it was better.
So anyway, yeah, we operate on different. I have to follow a recipe, and you just throw shit to the wind and then try to figure out. But I
am the Zen master of making shit up as I go along.
And that is why we ended up with a turkey that looked like it had been sent straight from the sun.
Well, it got some haunted chicken out of it, and that's good. That would have been obviously would have been better than the shit that I made. So, and don't let anybody fool you. Stovetop stuffing is awesome shit. So.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because we had it the other night.
Yeah.
We were gonna make it with the turkey because you really can't stuff a smoked bird, but.
Which is another problem I have with doing that turkey that way for Thanksgiving.
We're not going to do it on Thanksgiving. Even if the chicken comes out well, we're not going to smoke the turkey. We're just going to...
No, we're going to roast it in the oven.
We're going to roast it in the oven, yeah. All right.
Where the worst I can do is cook it upside down.
Yeah. That ended up being one of the best turkeys ever, though. This was the one time we hosted Thanksgiving for my family. My mom came up, Tommy, Billy...
Your Aunt Kathleen, who kept telling me to put more and more and more seasoning.
She thought we needed to go to the store and get another box of Bell seasoning. We threw 2 boxes in. She wanted me to go to the store and get more. I'm like, nah, we're good. But, she was, you need more Bell seasoning. Well,
But I cooked the turkey upside down.
We cooked the turkey, yeah.
Accidentally.
We didn't know. It looked right, sort of. I was like, I guess this is right. We threw it in the oven. Pull it out, and it's like, something's not right here. But it was the juiciest damn bird ever. You cook a bird upside down, it is fantastic.
I've been cooking the turkey for my family Thanksgivings for years. That was not the first turkey I ever cooked.
Oh, I know.
But I think I was
nervous?
Yeah.
And everybody loved it. Everybody said the same thing I'm saying. It was the juiciest damn turkey ever. And it was, because it's actually...
Aunt Kathleen was just sitting there... I don't cook turkey the same way she's used to cooking the turkey.
Yeah.
So she just kept telling me everything I was doing that wasn't the way she would do it. And it was making me a little nervous.
Yeah, you really were intimidated by her anyway. She's a sweetheart, or she was. Sort of.
Yeah, so they tried to serve, Michael called it turkey Pompeii.
Because it was charred. It was bad.
Oh, it was funny.
I'll give Michael credit though.
Week.
I thought he was gonna, because when I saw it, I was like, oh shit, and I thought Michael was gonna lose his shit there, but he starts laughing, and it was like, okay, we're good, because Mike's laughing about it, and that was it. And I was like, all right, well, we fucked it up, so, and everybody accepts it, all right, we fucked it up. They were cool about it, so, all right, so, good story for the week.
Yeah, it was really the highlight of my week.
Because I sent her a text, basically the picture, and I said,
just the words we fucked
up.
It was hysterical. It was hysterical. Yeah, so there was that. We ended up just having fried chicken for dinner that night.
Yeah, haunted chicken to the rescue.
Yeah. And we did cook. We did build a couple more fires out in the backyard that we weren't cooking on.
Solo stove, yeah.
In our fire pit, which were
awesome. If you get a chance, get the solo stove. It is nice. It is easy to work with, and it makes a really good fire. So no complaints about that at all.
Yeah, very relaxing. What else this week? Oh, we had little adventures with my mom this week.
Oh yeah. So. Last week it was it Wednesday?
Don't ask me the days.
Yeah, I think it was Wednesday.
I don't think it was Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday.
No, it was Wednesday because I ended up having Wednesday all the way through Monday off. Yeah. So they're like, we really were.
Mom got hearing aids on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's what it was. She got the hearing aids on Tuesday, and then she woke up and she could not see.
She could see.
Well, she
things
could see,
that
but
weren't
it was
there.
like double vision or. Like where she doesn't have vision because she's got macular
degeneration.
Yeah, it was being filled up with fucking ducks or flowers.
So you jump straight to the end of the story.
Oh,
that's the explanation as to what was happening.
Oh.
She got her hearing aids Tuesday. Went Tuesday night and Wednesday morning was saying she was seeing things that weren't there.
Yeah.
Like bugs on the carpet and flowers, like hallucinations, which she knew weren't real. She didn't really think there were things there. And then she was just seeing double, like long images of people and things like that. And so Wednesday, I got up and went to school and then I called and I said, how's mom? And it's the same. I was afraid she'd had a stroke. And so I'm like, maybe she needs to get in with the eye doctor. And which she did on Wednesday.
So I called in because I had to take her, and she wasn't going to be able to drive. She went to pour Dad a V8, and totally missed the cup
twice,
and then tried it again, and totally missed it. And then she's like feeling it like a blind person, and it's like putting the cup up and tilting it up. I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah.
That's right.
So we went to the doctor. And they checked her eyes. Her vision hasn't changed at all, but the doctor said she has something called Charles-Bonnet syndrome, which is where your brain, when you have macular degeneration, some people, their brain will start filling in the spots where your vision is gone. So like macular, you have spots or areas of vision that you lose. And it usually is with flowers or faces.
Yeah, it's like, apparently it's like wallpaper. Like.
Or things go like in straight lines out towards you and stuff, patterns. So that was what was happening. There's no cure for it.
It just comes.
It could just come and be with you for a little while, and then it could go for months and you not have a problem. But she can't drive while that stuff's going on, so it kind of shifted us into a whole nother realm of like, okay, now mom can't drive either, and so everywhere they need to go, we have to take them. But it seems to have kind of gone away.
Yeah.
So.
Or she's dealing with it a lot better.
She said it's not there anymore, and she's okay to drive. I hope, because she's got a couple things to do on Tuesday. So.
I keep telling her to make sure her appointments are on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, but.
Yeah. So. That was fun, and I have that to look forward to, because I have macular degeneration too. And this chair keeps. Do you hear it?
Yeah,
it's cracking.
Cracking.
So hopefully, yay, fun times. least I'll know when it happens to me what it is.
Yeah. But, we had to drive all the way out to Portsmouth, which was fun because it's part of Portsmouth I'd never been in. That was cool. What else? There was that.
What else this week? There was a couple of bad things in the news.
Oh, yeah.
We had the
main shooter guy. That was something. Just this guy who's a nutbag. Just up and decides he wants to shoot up his bowling alley, which
at a restaurant that was like a couple miles away. It was two separate scenes.
He went and shot up the bowling alley, and then he went and left that, drove to the bar that was a good ways away, like a couple miles away. I mean, I don't know if he frequents bar. Apparently, he did frequent the bowling alley.
It's a small town. It's one of those things where like everybody goes to the bowling alley.
Yeah.
So it's like to say that you have, he's familiar with it. Well, I mean, everyone in the town is familiar with it. So I don't know that he targeted. I haven't really been keeping up with the news because it's just been so depressing lately. So I don't really know if he was targeting somebody or if it was just a random thing. I haven't heard like the updates on why he did it.
Yeah, they haven't gone into the whys, but I mean, he was committed and released, and they did not follow like the proper procedures, and they were supposed to like either snatch this guy up or get his weapons and whatnot, but none of that went through, and then he shot up and killed a bunch of folks.
I mean, I thought...
And then he went into the woods and killed himself, I guess.
Yeah, I thought that when you had mental health crisis, like one of the first things, well, it should be one of the first things you do is they need to confiscate your firearms. I'm sorry. You knew this guy had firearms. He has a firearm instructor. If he's being looked at for mental health issues, and it's clear to everyone, I mean, no one didn't know about it.
Yeah. I think it had something to do with the fact that he was an active person in the reserves.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't get it either, but...
They said that they didn't mandatorily put him into mental health care. They suggested it or something, and I'm sorry, but if you have a person who's like clearly having some sort of
because
crisis,
he was threatening to shoot up the base there.
At the very least, you think his family would go in and remove the firearms.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they were even saying he's having these breaks, but then when he comes out of it, he's understanding that he's not in his right frame of mind. Like, step one, make sure the dude doesn't have guns. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, there's a whole big debate on whether, but he was trained and capable of safely using firearms. He's not a person that would raise a red flag in that regard. But, like...
Well, I even said at the time, I was like, for him to take down, it ended up being 18, but the initial reports were saying 20 people. For a single shooter in a mass shooting event, 20 people is a pretty high number. Because people panic, run, whatever, and they, once you're trying to, shoot into a crowd like that, that's, just increasingly more difficult. For him to pull that off, he's obviously got some skill. He's obviously very practiced. Most of your people that just go nutbag one day, they don't generally have that much practice. They
all have signs.
Oh, yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Like, find me one mass shooting that has happened where there hasn't been some sort of red flag that someone somewhere has ignored.
Right.
Because we're so afraid of getting involved in people's mental health. Yeah. And I think we need to be less afraid of interfering with people's mental health. And you can say, what if, you can't have your rights taken away, and then people aren't going to seek help, and blah, 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 blah.
No,
but if something happens, a person has guns, that they aren't in the right frame of mind, there needs to be a quick response where you can detain the person.
Oh, Terry.
What?
Here, front door open. Mom must be out there.
This is why I didn't want you in here, but Daddy said you could come in here.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Come on. It's okay.
I know.
Yes.
That's all right. Tilly.
It's okay.
I just feel like there needs to be a way. All right, let's pause until she. Are you quiet now? Okay. You detain the person, and then you go through their house and you take all their weapons away.
Which is what they used to do.
I'm sorry if that seems like an invasion of your privacy or whatever. Sorry.
Which is what they used to do when they used to have insane asylums. They'd throw people in the insane asylum. And
I'm not saying detain them in some shitty mental health. First of all, I have stopped calling them insane asylums because that sounds barbaric. But you're right. That's part of the problem is that we just don't have the mental health facilities because people deemed that people were being mistreated, which they probably were.
They probably were, yeah.
We know better now, right?
Yeah.
Instead of stopping people, we just need to be more responsive to people when they're in crisis, that's all.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
So,
They have
we
to
need
come
to
up
take
with some other
keep a
solution.
closer eye on young kids, because trust me, I
it's
work
gonna
in
get
an
worse.
elementary school, and I can tell you who's going to have mental health problems as they grow. It isn't a complete out of nowhere thing. You can follow the story of a child, but all the way back, a kindergarten teacher would probably be like, oh yeah, I mean, we saw signs or something. They don't come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We just ignore it. We don't want to, like, overstep our bounds, but we need to start overstepping some bounds.
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you.
Because this shit's got to stop.
Shit's got to stop.
Just short of just telling people you can't have guns, because that's what's coming. The
Well,
mass
that's definitely
confiscation
what-
of guns is coming. And I don't believe in that either.
No.
I think we should be taking care of these people before they have a chance to hurt. You know, the signs are there. We just need to pay attention to them.
Yeah.
We need to double the size of our mental health facilities.
Yeah.
None of this, you can't get a bed for whatever. Oh, you can only be here for 4 days. That's all your insurance will pay for. We need to stop all that shit. You know, because...
Make it a little easier for the family to feel better about doing it. You know?
Yes.
Because, I mean, there probably is that stigma, like, oh, I just threw them in an insane asylum. And you see the old movies and TV shows where,
I really
it's all
don't think most
rubber
people...
rooms and fucking straitjackets and shit.
I don't think most people think of them as insane asylums the way that you're talking about them anymore.
One flew over the cuckoo's nest. That kind of shit.
I think that we have a giant mental health crisis in this country.
Yeah.
And guns and mass shootings is one symptom of that mental health crisis. Not the only one, because you can look at people who are overdosing on drugs or dying of fentanyl. These people who are pumping drugs from wherever they can get them into their body, it's a mental health situation.
Yeah. That was the other thing, because we were talking about, even before the shooting and whatnot, we got this homeless guy that was hanging out at the Rite Aid that was shut down because Rite Aid's out of business now. But this guy was sleeping literally at their front door. Super homeless. You see the people kind of begging on the street that may or may like probably live in a house and just begging money, and then there's people that are obviously homeless because you see them sleeping on the street, or like up the street on General Booth, there's like a small encampment, and it's like 3 tents where homeless people are living in tents on the side of the road. Super homeless, you know what I mean? These are like real deal. They're in distress. And the guy that's that was sleeping at the Rite Aid, he was walking around on crutches and looked haggard and fucked up. So, but obviously, you can get help. You can sleep in shelters. They have shelters in Virginia Beach. You can go to just about any church, and they will put you up and house you somehow. But if but you make the conscious choice of, well, no, fuck it, I'll just sleep at this Rite Aid. Because no one's using it right now. That you've got something wrong in your head. So what do? I don't think the guy's a danger to anybody, I guess. But
I mean, I don't know why people like that are not seeking help or not getting help, or because I've never been in that situation. Yeah. So I don't know what's out there, how easy it is to find and to stay in a situation. I don't understand it. But I think we ought to be doing something.
I keep reading on things that.
But we would rather fight in this country over silly crap
Yeah.
than actually address the real problems of what's really impacting our society.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'd rather put the focus on other bullshit.
I mean, they could take a chunk of land, and I'm not saying build like 5-star housing. Like you can do, like they even do. I see them do these cheap printed houses, or these ones where they modify shipping containers and whatnot, and just have a place where you can sleep, have a
I mean, I know they have programs.
And have a address so that you can get a job.
They have programs like that. I've seen stories of families who are on the street, or a single mom who's on the street with her kids, they're homeless, and they go into those programs. They don't stay homeless.
Yeah, which is
like
great.
We're talking about the people who
just decide they want to be homeless.
Are pushing around shopping carts or carrying trash bags with all their belongings in it, and they're just sleeping on the street. It doesn't appear as though they're making steps to try to get out of that situation.
They don't want help.
I don't know if they don't. I've never spoken to one.
Yeah.
So I don't know to say that they don't want help, but it just appears like they're accepting of what situation they're in. I know those programs are there for people who are reaching out for it, but you have to reach out for help.
Yeah, there's no fixing that then. If you're in a situation and you make zero effort to get yourself out of that situation, then you're going to remain in that situation, regardless of how bad it is.
Mm.
It's deplorable as it is to sleep on the sidewalk in front of the closed Rite Aid.
It's the same with everything. If you're in a job that you hate and you make no efforts to get out of that job, you're going to stay in a job that you hate.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're in a marriage where you're being abused and you make no efforts to get yourself out of that situation, then you're going to remain in a marriage where you're being abused.
Because believe it or not, there is a ton of help out there for all of this stuff.
It's not easy.
It's not
I
easy
would
to
imagine
ask for
it's
help.
not easy. I've been blessed not to have to deal with anything like that.
Yeah.
The worst I ever have to deal with is Turkey Pompeii. And the F word. I can't even tell you how many times I heard the F word over the turkey thing.
Yeah.
Every time we talked about the turkey, he said, yeah, we fucked it up, we fucked up. Yeah, we got it fucked up. I was so sick of hearing the word. Think of a different word to describe what you did.
Because I fouled it up.
That just, I would have loved that. But that's the worst I have to deal with,
See, I don't beat her, folks. You'd be all like Sean Connery. Sometimes you just gotta smack a woman. When she won't let it go, she won't shut the fuck up. And she gotta smack
She
a
wants
woman.
the last word and you give it to her, but that's not good enough.
That's not good enough. You just gotta smack her. Well, look up Sean Connery interview with Barbara Walters. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, but it's hilarious.
I mean, it's amazing he didn't get canceled.
Well, it's Sean Connery.
So there are people who are above station.
Sean Connery is one of those people. There are some people that you can't cancel because of whatever it is they do, whatever. But Sean Connery is one of those folks. It's like he was the coolest person ever. There's a few people like that. Sean Connery, Christopher Lee, most of these old school British actors. Michael Caine. These are the coolest guys in the room. Like the only two Americans I can think of are Christopher Walken and fucking Willem Dafoe, who are just so goddamn cool that they can do anything. And everybody's like, well, that's fucking Christopher Walken. He can do that.
Those times are gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Christopher Walken can still get away with a bunch of shit.
If he punches a woman in the face, I think he still... If she files some sort of charges, I think he still gets in trouble for that.
Well, he's no Bill Cosby. So.
And he's going to lose a segment. I mean, Kylie Jenner, who's got hundreds of millions of followers, just posted, I stand with Israel, and lost millions of followers on her Instagram account.
Wow.
So I would imagine if a woman came out and said, well, he punches me on a regular basis when he's not happy with how I talk to him, there would be quite a segment of people who would be like, okay, I'm done with that.
That's true.
And the same for a woman who hits a man, by the way.
And it probably was a sign of the times, too, because it was still the 80s when that interview happened. The 80s, yeah.
Oh, well, beating your woman was allowed. We're subservient. Women are just there for pleasure. And when they get mouthy with you, what's the joke? I've heard it even here.
Oh,
Why does she have two black eyes?
Because
Because she didn't listen the first time? Yeah, I mean, that's the role women have been in historically.
And that's wrong. That should not be the case.
No, men shouldn't be in that role either.
That's right.
If a woman's beating on a man like that, that should not be allowed. Get yourself out of that situation.
One of our best stories that we still tell is how you hit me in the face one morning for waking you up.
I was
at
asleep.
6:30 in the morning.
I was asleep.
I know. It's hilarious though. But we say it as a joke. It's not like you're out
If
there hitting me
if
in
I
the
punched
face.
you in the face out of anger, it'd be a completely different thing.
Oh, I get it.
I don't think I've ever been angry enough to punch you.
Yeah. Thank God.
I remember when I was young and I was like in charge of my brother and sister like they were kids, and I was the oldest and I had to babysit them. I can remember being so angry at them I wanted to beat the shit out of them and thinking I need to step back a little bit here because if I don't control myself right now I'm going to hurt somebody. I learned that at a young age. But I mean, I might tap you. Like, shut the fuck up or something like that. I've definitely kicked you under the table a time or two.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know.
I love you too, baby. What else?
Matthew Perry, that was some sad news yesterday.
Yeah.
I saw it on, someone shared it on Facebook, and I was, you know how sometimes you see things and you're like,
especially when it was
I
TMZ
don't know if that's
reporting.
not real. TMZ's usually really good, though. If TMZ's reporting it, generally,
Still don't. I mean, they've had a couple instances where they reported like Chumlee was dead.
But like, I went to the internet and I could only find it on TMZ.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, please let this not be real. But yeah, apparently it is. How sad. Celebrity deaths don't normally affect me.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know those people. And so I'm like, oh, so-and-so died. Oh, that sucks, whatever.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, like, I don't spend time thinking about it. Matthew Perry hit me in a little bit of a different way. Not like I was sitting blubbering or crying or even giving, like, a lot of time to it.
That was your show.
But yeah, I was kind of flipping on TikTok and people are doing, posting, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so sad. Because he was so funny. So funny. And Friends was like the backdrop of, if you grew up in the era that I did, that's like the wallpaper behind your life. And it's sad. As someone my age.
See, when Friends was on, I was working, and this was before DVRs and all that other shit, so I never got into it. But when I was working late nights, I got off at like 10 o'clock at night, so I wasn't watching much of any TV as far as that goes. But
you knew enough about Friends to
make
a joke way too soon yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, well. I'm not going to repeat that joke because I don't want to lose any.
I'll repeat it. You want me to repeat it for you?
Sure.
I was reading, I'm like looking, trying to find it, and I said, oh, I think this is true. And Kevin's like, could he be any more dead? Like, oh my gosh. But someone on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, had a picture, and he had a shirt on that said, could I be any more vaccinated? I guess when they were like trying to push the vaccines out and stuff like that, which I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, it's pretty sad.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big deal. Like, I
hope they don't find out that it was drug related. I really hope.
Here's the thing, and you were mentioning it because you said Keith Morrison was with his family. Keith Morrison's a guy on NBC, a big one of our, he's great. You watch him. He's a great
like the
storyteller.
Dr. Seuss of storytelling.
He did this bit on Dateline where he was telling about a murder in Virginia Beach, and it was just.
The guy shot his wife with a crossbow, but when you listen to it, it literally sounds like a Dr. Seuss story.
Yeah, it was
the way
crazy.
He tells it. So
but anyway, he did a thing, I want to say last year. Matthew Perry wrote a book, and he was talking about his ups and downs with drug abuse and whatnot all throughout his career. And his career is an interesting career because he could have had a huge career. He could have been bigger than Jennifer Aniston, but the drugs really fucked him over. Like, he just could not shake it. He'd have ups and downs, and he'd go into and off the drugs, and then get on and off the wagon. And he wrote this book, and he was off drugs, and he seemed like he was getting his shit together.
I hope that he was. I mean, it's terrible that he died. I just hope it wasn't drug induced.
Well, I mean, he was in bad health anyway. Like, the drugs did a number on his body anyway.
I wonder if the jacuzzi was too hot and he had like
he
passed out or something.
That happens to me.
I know.
So.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
But yeah, that's jacuzzis because of it.
sad news
Mm-hmm.
today. So I have been enjoying all the pivot videos because that's one of my favorite
Moments from that
moments
show.
from
Yeah.
Friends. Which I don't even remember if that aired in the show or if that's just an outtake that has been aired so many times.
I'm pretty sure.
Them
it was on the
breaking
show.
down and laughing like that. I don't even remember if that was part of the show.
I don't know about the breaking down and laughing, but I think the pivot thing was in the show.
Yeah, I mean it was written into the show, but like when they were
Yeah.
screaming and laughing and everything. Yeah. So the only other thing I have is I saw a story. Whoops. On NPR of this 14-year-old kid in Fairfax, Virginia, who entered some kind of contest, and he invented a soap that fights skin cancer.
So that's cool.
Whatever the soap has in it, it provides your skin with whatever this cancer fighting thing
Maybe
is.
it's like a topical vitamin D or something.
I didn't read the whole story, but I thought that was kind of
That is
amazing
cool.
for a 14-year-old kid. My finger is like, I can't bend it. All of a sudden. I don't know if it's arthritis or what it is. Hemon Beckel. He's a high school kid in Fairfax. He won this year's 3M Young Scientist Challenge. Let's see. Was born in Ethiopia, came to the United States at age 4. The soap delivers cancer-fighting drugs via lipid nanoparticles, which work to activate the body's immune cells to fend off cancer. So that's pretty awesome. So congratulations to that kid.
I wonder why no one's ever thought about that before.
Skin cancer must be a really big thing in Ethiopia.
I guess. Yeah.
I think I remember a story about, I thought it was Australia, skin cancer being extremely prevalent in Australia.
Well, they don't have, like, aside from the cities, like there's not a whole lot of like shade. Like they have
Yeah, I mean
trees
there's sun
for them.
exposure, and they're probably, are they closer to the sun
I don't
in
think
the
so.
summertime? Like, are they closer to the equator than like?
Yeah.
So I don't know the. Oh,
I don't know how any of that works. I don't know.
Yeah, but I know it was Australia that I heard, but that skin cancer, like they have like skin cancer treatment places you can just walk into in like shopping centers and stuff, because so many people have skin cancer.
Jesus.
How did people not get skin cancer 1,000 years ago?
They probably did. You got to remember the median age 1,000 years ago was 35. So they probably died of many reasons. It wasn't all just I can't run faster than the bear. Some of it was diseases
The
that we
ozone
blow off
layer
now.
being depleted is probably letting more harmful rays through.
Yeah.
People are probably developing skin cancer more prevalently now
Well,
than they did before.
Some of that is that they know what it is now.
Yeah,
So.
I guess I could see that too. All right, so we've got a new table topics. Tell your story, Kevin.
Yeah.
I know you want to tell this because you're
I
pissed.
talked about this last week. We had ordered a 3-pack of table topics. It was supposed to be for the upcoming holidays. I sat there and looked through it, ordered it, said, great, it's coming. It shows up. I'm like, these aren't holiday table topics. I go and I look at the order and it's not the right thing. And then I go to look for the actual thing and they could not find it. So apparently they ran out of stock and just switched my shit. So
the funniest part about that is I was after Kevin for a very long time to get himself connected on my Amazon account so that he could actually shop on Amazon and use Amazon Prime instead of him just always pushing it off onto me to, can you pick this up? Can you go order this? Can you do, like he can go on and do it. And this is the first thing that he went on and ordered. And it didn't.
It wasn't my fault though. It really wasn't. It really wasn't. I got fucked over by Amazon.
Okay.
Fucking Bezos.
Well, he is evil incarnate.
Yeah.
All right.
So we got.
So we're gonna try this new one called Right or Wrong.
Right or wrong, table topics to go.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
What would you do if someone crashed your birthday party?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do, and it depends on who it is.
We had a wedding crasher, believe it or not. We had a guy who was in the military, which is probably why they let him in at the gate. But yeah, we had a wedding crasher, and it was like, all right, great dude.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it would depend on who it is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do anything.
If you become lost, who would you ask for help? Well, I would imagine.
Siri?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
If you're lost,
You got 3 different map apps, like right on your phone, or you call me and say, hey, my car's broke down, come get me.
yeah,
All
that's
right.
kind of a lame question.
Yeah.
What quality would you like to improve in yourself?
I need to eat better and exercise
Yeah,
and
there's
get
that.
healthier.
I need to be less lazy,
Mm.
more motivated. I cannot bend my finger. It really, really hurts.
What you do?
I don't know,
Jesus Christ.
but it's
folks.
this
We're
one.
falling apart, folks. Well,
And it does really hurt. Like, I can't bend it at all.
you must have smacked it on something.
I'm gonna put-
If you receive a fun invitation from someone you don't like, what would you do?
I would turn it down.
Yeah. Easy peasy.
Life is too short to waste time with people you don't like.
Yeah.
You know, you can have fun with people you do like.
I mean, you don't just say, no, motherfucker, I'm not going to
Yeah,
your
I'm
house because
busy.
I don't like
Sorry,
you.
I
You just
can't
say,
do that.
can't do it. I got shit going on.
So far, we agree on all of these.
Yeah.
What would you do if you saw a dog locked in a hot car?
Oh, my God.
I'd call the cops.
Yeah.
I wouldn't break
You
the
don't
windows
bust the window out.
No, I would let the police bust
I mean,
the window.
if the dog looks like they're about ready to drop, then you'd bust the window out, but you call the cops first and
Mhm.
make sure that shit's all legit. But, yeah. If there's anyone you wouldn't show compassion towards,
Is there
is
anyone?
there anyone you wouldn't show compassion for? Like somebody's, you got somebody who's like got a fucking swastika tattoo on their face, but they fell out in front of you. Do you try to help them? Yeah. You don't just step over them and walk on. You just, call an ambulance or whatever. You don't,
Yeah, I
guess.
mean, in a random situation like that, if you're, someone falls out in front of you and you go to help the person and they have swastikas all over them, I probably would continue to call the 911 and help that person.
Yeah. Make
If
their
it was
problem.
somebody who I knew had I guess compassion.
Now, if somebody's actively
key.
doing something like they're,
If they're beating on my dog, I'm not going to have much compassion for them. So, I mean, as a standard rule, yes, you have compassion for people until you have reason not to.
yeah. There you go.
My turn?
Your turn.
If a friend told you an offensive joke, what would you do? I'd probably laugh if it was a funny joke.
Yeah.
I don't get offended at jokes, do you?
No.
I know you don't.
If a friend got a haircut and you asked if you liked it, what would you do if you didn't?
I would
I'd
say it looks nice.
that sucks. I'd be honest.
You would not.
I would.
You would not.
All right.
If Robin came over with a haircut and said, "Oh yeah, I got my haircut," you would not say that.
Probably be like, Jesus, what happened?
No, you would not. You might say it to some of your friends, but you wouldn't say it to a woman.
No. I'm just saying, Robin, don't fuck up and get a bad haircut.
He would not say it. He's acting all kinds of tough.
Robin didn't get a free pass.
And I would not ever say I didn't like it either. So don't ask me if you want an honest opinion. Would you sell a friend's secrets to a tabloid if you were offered a lot of money?
How much money? No. No.
Is there an amount?
No, there's not. There's not. Be like,
100 million?
No, it'd be like, no.
Really?
Seriously. But, no one gives a shit about my friends enough to ask me anything. So, I mean, none of my friends doing anything that's going to warrant them to,
That's true.
yeah. What should you do if you see someone being bullied online or in person? Well, if you see him do it in person, you step in and you say, hey, dude, back the fuck off. You see them doing it online, you get on the chat and you say, hey dude, back the fuck off. That's what you do.
I see people being bullied online all the time.
I don't like it.
In people's feeds sometimes.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
Don't like it?
You gotta step up. Ow, be compassionate until you have a reason not to be. I am seriously having pain in my finger and I don't know what I'm gonna do about it. What should I do? Heat? Should I put heat on it?
I guess. I don't know.
Because it hurts. Look, it's even swollen right at the knuckle. Feel that?
Yeah, you got a big swollen there.
I got a big swollen knuckle.
She beats me.
This finger hurts frequently, but it usually I can work it out and then it goes away. I think I'm starting to develop arthritis.
Don't do that.
I know I have arthritis in my knees, but that's osteoarthritis. I woke up with really, really bad, I have bad shoulder pain in this shoulder most of the time, although today it feels pretty good. And I woke up with I couldn't even lift my arm straight up in this shoulder. And it hurt for like a day and a half and then it stopped hurting. I was convinced though I had arthritis.
Yeah. Well,
I think I just slept on it wrong.
we could probably mention it to Jones. Maybe he can come up with something. So, I don't know. What do you think, folks? Is there anything you can do about that? Or is it just
Yeah, I
something
can
got
tell you
to-
what my doctor told me about my knees.
Yeah, fucking
Keep taking
deal.
Tylenol.
Jesus.
You're too young for knee replacement, although that's what you need.
Yeah, but they told you that like a decade ago.
That was a long time ago. But I don't have the kind of pain that I can't walk. You know what I mean? Like, it's not excruciating to walk pain.
Yeah.
It's like,
Pain in the ass.
like when I stand up, it hurts for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And I take Tylenol or whatever.
Dual
And
action.
That
yeah.
does dual action. That does help me. But I'm going to put heat on this hand and try and loosen this joint up.
Sure.
And then I'm going to take some dual
I'm
action.
gonna get some icy hot.
No. I'll just take a hot cloth and put it
Hold
on
it
there.
there.
Yeah. I'll have you get me a hot washcloth. Anything else you want to talk about? We've
Wanna
been
do
at
the
this
news
for
thing?
50. What news thing?
Like where we do the headlines, or
We were having to pay for that.
oh, were we? Oh,
Let's see if I can find a free one though. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't want to do it if it costs money. Because you folks need to give me some money through that Cash App at $K Rose VA.
All right. What am I looking for? Current events quiz.
Yeah.
Current events quiz. All right. Let's see.
Not the New York Times.
Now, the New York Times. Let's do NPR. We didn't do good on the NPR one.
No.
Because we don't listen to NPR. All right, ready?
Yep.
All right. Who is Mike Johnson?
The new speaker
Is a
of the-
popular headline right now. So, who is not a Mike Johnson?
Okay.
An Olympic sprinter.
No.
A famous yodeler. A notorious serial killer. And a renowned Swedish chef. So 3 of those guys are a Mike Johnson.
Oh my God.
One is not a Mike Johnson. Which
Alright,
one do you
just
think
so
is
I know,
not?
so you guys know, Mike Johnson's the new Speaker of the House. He just got voted in. Let's go with athlete.
So you think he is not an Olympic sprinter?
Yeah.
I am not going to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I think he is not a renowned Swedish chef.
They want this guy
Johnson
tied.
does not sound like a Swedish name to me.
Yeah, they are going to want to tie this guy with the strangest, weirdest shit. They definitely the serial killer is a Mike Johnson.
Yes, and I can see an Olympic sprinter being a Mike Johnson.
And we'll see.
The yodeler and the Swedish chef, there's a Michael Johnson, does not sound like a name that you would see yodeling or being in Sweden.
Johnson.
All right.
They spell it
So
weird.
what am I answering? I'm answering your answer. You
Yeah.
said an Olympic sprinter.
Yeah.
You were wrong.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
the Swedish.
right. He was not a renowned Swedish chef.
Herbert Durr.
Right? Okay. Oh, wait. I read that question wrong. Mike Johnson and Michael Johnson are very common names in the United States. The answer to this question is Swedish chef. There is, however, a Swedish chef named Michael Johnson. Mikaeljonssson.
Johnson.
So So I didn't read it wrong. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Relatable. What did Sam Bankman-Fried tell a judge he did with FTX's terms of service document?
Oh my God, they are trying to get this guy to look like something other than the biggest fucking scumbag in the world that he is.
Are you ready?
Let's
Skimmed parts of it, wrote it himself, had Chat GPT write it, or read the entire thing word for word.
see. He probably had him read it word for word.
He told the judge he did this with their terms of service document. You think he told the judge he read the entire thing word for word? I think he told the judge he wrote it himself.
Okay, let's go with that. Wrote it himself.
Nah, he skimmed parts of it. Just like everyone else in the United States of America and beyond that just skims terms of service, if you even do that. How did attorney Jenna Ellis, who pleaded guilty in the Georgia election interference case, begin her court-ordered apology? Did she say, as an attorney who is also a woman? Or did she say, as an attorney who is also a Kraken? I doubt she said that. As an attorney who is also a Christian, or as an attorney who is also a patriot?
I'm going to go with patriot.
No.
Fuck.
As an attorney who is also a Christian. Ellis read her apology letter to the state of Georgia in court on Tuesday. As an attorney who is also a Christian, I take my responsibilities as a lawyer very seriously. And I endeavor to be a person of sound moral and ethical character. Musical theater composer Stephen Sondheim died in 2021. His final musical opened Sunday. What's it called? Merrily We Roll Along, Pacific Overtures, Here We Are, or Love Never Dies.
I'm going to say Merrily We Roll Along, which I think there's some irony there, but
I'm going to say Here We Are. Ready? I was right.
You're kicking ass, babe.
Yeah,
I ain't got nothing
not really
right.
so much, but what did NYC Mayor Eric Adams controversially use AI for? Rat abatement strategies, calculating subway surge pricing, speech writing, or robocalls in non-English languages?
I think I remember something about rat abatement
Me too. That's kind of
sticking in my head.
Sticking in my head.
I don't pay that close attention.
Nope.
God damn it!
robocalls in non-English languages. Okay, complete this quote. These days, when we see people smoking, they're in the small minority, and we think, what are they doing? Maybe we'll think that way in the future about 12-year-olds and 14-year-olds. Being on social media, vaping, swallowing the Tide Pods, or eating ultra-processed foods.
Social
I'll say
media.
vaping. Social media?
That's what I'm going to guess.
Oh, you're right.
Boom! Finally got one right.
What did the NHL ban, then unban? American flag stick tape, rainbow stick tape, physical contact between players, rainbow puck tape. Rainbow puck tape.
I'm going to go with the rainbow
Why would
stick
they
tape.
ban stick tape?
I think they banned the rainbow stick tape and then they brought it back.
Okay. You're right. Stupid.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
There was a big controversy because they were doing LGBT nights at
Who cares?
Right. But there were some groups that were like, hey, don't do that. So then they banned it. And then people were like, what the fuck are you doing?
How can you?
So then they unbanned the ban. But basically they were giving one guy shit because he was like, they had invited this group were transgendered women dressed up as nuns
That
specifically
was a baseball or a football game.
No, I thought it was a hockey game or something.
Oh, that was a baseball
Either
game.
way.
Rainbow stick tape.
Mm.
I mean, you don't have enough going on in your life if that's what you're concerned about.
Yeah.
Freaking.
It's a hockey game.
All right. Speaking of reversals, what did Scholastic do then undo? Segregate most books on race, gender, and sexuality.
Oh my God.
Ban most books on race, gender, and sexuality. Ban most books on race, gender, and sexuality, but only in Florida. Stop carrying Captain Underpants books.
I'm going to do the underpants books.
Me too. I really hope it's none of those other ones. They segregated most books on race, gender, and sexuality.
So how does that even work? Because you would do like basically the fiction, nonfiction, and then basically in nonfiction you.
I mean, Scholastic is a.
But
Last
then when
month,
you do-
Scholastic said it was separating most titles about race, gender, and sexuality into one collection, which middle schools could decide to exclude from book fairs. This collection was called Share Every Story, Celebrate Every Voice, apparently without irony. After searing criticism, Scholastic reversed the decision and apologized.
All right, so then they took these books that obviously they're causing controversy. So they said, let's just group them together, and then you as an individual school can either use this section if you want or not. And then people said, no, you're supposed to mix them in with everything else so that we can, what?
So that they can, what?
I don't know.
Be available. Books
I
on
guess.
race. Why should race books be segregated out?
I
Books
don't know.
about
I don't
with
know why
black
any of it should
characters
be.
and black people be segregated out from books about any other race of person.
I agree that they should not.
No.
But like, what are the other segments? Like, are they doing fiction, nonfiction? Are they doing?
They do historical fiction, picture books, graphic novels. Like they have things in section. You know, they're like by topic.
Okay.
But I just don't think that. That's okay. One of these quotes from this filmmaker, Werner Herzog's memoir, Every Man for Himself and God Against All. Which one? One of these quotes is from this book. Boy, we don't know any of these, do we?
I know Hunter Herzog did, and this movie is not meant to be hilarious, but it is. If you ever get a chance, watch Grizzly Man. And it's about this real life story about this guy who was a nutbag and went to Alaska.
He is the director of that movie?
Oh, yeah. And he meant for it to be like this.
Is he the guy that died?
No, he did the documentary about
Okay.
the guy's death.
Okay.
But it was fucking hilarious. I'm sorry. It was hilarious.
All right, so here's the quote. Which one was actually in the book? I felt if I looked up and caught its eye, it would kill me. I became a robot.
No.
It was a surprise, but for me, it wasn't a tragedy. Truth does not necessarily have to agree with facts.
Herzog, I'd go with that last one.
Truth does not necessarily have to agree with facts.
Yeah.
Yep.
People can take facts and then they say, well, that my truth doesn't really match up to that, so I'm just going to ignore the facts. That's fucking horseshit, but that's the way of the world now, I guess.
What do Gen Zers not want in their entertainment? Platonic relationships, sex and romance, aromantic and or asexual characters. They don't want any of those.
I'm going to go with all of the above there.
I'm going to go they don't want any of those. But we'd be wrong. They don't want books about entertainment. They don't want sex and romance in their entertainment.
See, I
The
think
youth
there's
want less
something
sex and
missing.
romance in movies and TV, according to a new study.
That's, I think, something that this generation that's coming up really doesn't understand, how unbelievably fulfilling it is to have somebody in your life that you love with your whole heart. I can't express to anybody who will listen how awesome it is to have that in your life, to know that somebody's got my back, that somebody's going to want to take care of me, and I absolutely want to take care of them. And they're, to not want that, I don't understand that.
It says the youth want less sex and romance in movies and TV, according to a new study. This trend has been dubbed "nomance" because of course it has. But is Gen Z truly less into on-screen sex, or do they just get their adult content from porn? That's not off-color snark. The prevalence of porn could be a reason why they feel they want to see less sexual content in traditional media.
So I guess what they're saying is you don't need the romance because you can just watch porn
Just get on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Aging animal bonus. Bobby, the world's oldest dog, we heard this, Michael knew this,
Yeah.
died last Friday at 31. How old was he in human years?
31 times 7 is what?
217.
17? Let's go with that.
180-ish? Boy, we were wrong on that.
Yeah, we got 3 out of 11.
How did we get that wrong? The 7-to-1 human-year dog ratio, which would equal 217, is not evidence-based, and the equivalence varies by age and size of the dog.
Oh, fuck you!
The chart on the American Kennel Club site only went up to 16, so we attempted math and ended up somewhere between the high 170s and low 180s. The life expectancy of Bobby, a Rafiero do Al Tejeo, was 12 to 14 years.
Yeah, fuck you.
Our final score was 3 out of 11.
Yeah,
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Well, I told you I don't pay attention to news anymore because it's...
Well, a bunch of those were fucked up anyway. Like, first of all, who knows anything that Horner Wargog said anyway, even though
You
that's
did.
one of the ones I got right, but,
Congratulations. All right. We're good?
we're good.
All right. So until next week.
Bye, everybody.